back, folks. Casey here with Two Tankards. Today we're going to talk about something I'm really excited about, my new Queen Bee Pro CNC. It's a 60 by 60 gantry CNC, and I'm going to utilize the OPENBUILDS black box controller. So we're going to do a multi-video series on this from unboxing all the way to first runs. So stay tuned. So I received 3 packages from Bulkman. I like to take all the material out of the boxes and just check to make sure I have everything. And I like to start with the largest packages because, as you can see in my shop, I don't have a lot of room. The first large package that I started with had all of the linear rails in it. I checked to make sure there was no damage, there was no scrapes, there were no scratches, and I noticed that the packaging was done really well. I decided to reuse the packaging and take all of the rails, put them back in the packaging and lay it on the floor out of the way. It's nice to note that the boxes that came from Bulkman, you can see in the video there's lots of bands on them, and the banding is also double taped. That way it ensures that the bands don't snag on something during transportation or in UPS and the box or the bands get snapped or ripped. The second large box that I opened contained all of the extruded aluminum components and the Acme screws. As I removed these components from the box, I noticed that the 4080C channel already had the 2040 hardbackers placed into them. So as I removed these from the package, I wanted to keep all of that together. That way I wouldn't have to sort or find those 2040 components later. It's nice to lay everything out on the table and sort it by size and shape. I did notice that all of the packaging was really well done. None of the components were marred or scarred in any way, shape, or form. I took all of the Acme screws out of the box and I actually placed those in the same packaging over on the floor so it would be out of the way and I wouldn't trip on them with the other linear bearings. And the last box that I received from Bulkman contained all the NEMA 23 high torque motors that I had ordered, the Z-axis gantry plates, as well as all of the linear bearings, as well as all of the custom plates that make the Queen Bee Pro the Queen Bee Pro. I had seen some other videos where the plates were bent based on what the people in the video were saying, so I just wanted to remove every plate and make sure everything looked good. I also wanted to make sure they weren't heavily scratched or damaged in any way, shape, or form. I did want to go ahead and open up one of my NEMA motors to make sure I did get the high torque series that I'd paid for, and of course everything was good, so I packaged everything back up and I put it back in the box and set it aside as I did everything else. And the last package I have is from OPENBUILDS. I opened up the black box controller to make sure there was no damage. I pulled out all of the cables and counted them to ensure I had everything that I needed, as well as an additional item that I had purchased, which is a zeroing module for your X and Y and Z axis. Makes things a lot easier when using your CNC. The last component in the box was the 24-volt power supply. These pieces in the bubble wrap here are actually a little assembly that goes on the front of the power supply to cover up all of the connectors, so I still had to put all of that together before I could use the unit. Last, I put everything back in the box and put it away for later use. Alright folks, that's it for the unboxing of the Queen Bee Pro CNC kit, as well as the materials I received for the OPENBUILDS control module. The next video we're going to do is going to be for the spoil board assembly of the Queen Bee Pro. So as usual, if you like my material, like and subscribe and stay tuned. See you in a bit.